the same pattern. The same materials have been given to 8 different factories in New York City to produce a sample. This is the one sample that gives me hope. It's not
So I
perfect.
found a factory. But even if I didn't, I figured the experiment would help me identify ways to improve the construction, pattern, and tech pack for whatever may happen next. And it has. On the original sample from this factory, the waistband is a little limp. In fact, you can see the outline of the hook from the front. So for the next sample, I purchased some interfacing and we sewed that in. It definitely stiffened it up. I wonder if it was actually too stiff. I'm going to see if I can get it somewhere in between. Next, the belt loop seemed to be a little long on the original sample, so I've revised the pattern to make it shorter. And also on the original, there's no zipper fly lining. It's just the self fabric on the inside. In order to make the pants look nicer, I've added lining to the inside. For a more refined look, I later decided to wrap the fabric around the waistband. Ideally, the fly would look like what's on this navy sample. There was some miscommunication on the third sample. Now, the inseam on the original was actually a little bit crooked, so we've adjusted the pattern to make the inseam look more straight. This is why when you buy a new pair of pants, you should probably hem the inseam based on the eye test, rather than a set inseam length that you've used in the past. That's because the two pairs of pants are probably from two different patterns. And lastly, this is what I was referring to in the previous video. And this factory was the only one to construct the pants properly, although it had to deviate slightly from the pattern to do so. We've updated the pattern so that actually by following it, you can get the traditional 8-inch gap between the waistband curtain and the waistband. Now, some of the improvements were my idea. The last three, though, would not have happened had I not been able to work in person with the factory. There's no way we can have the sort of in-depth flow of information that happens in person with a sample and pattern at hand for reference if we were to do this remotely. Everything I've learned about clothes and what I talk about in these videos comes from what the folks at the factory have taught me. In person, they can't help but share decades of knowledge. It helps them to help you. And that's what I'd like to be able to do too. So keep tuning in and ask away if you have any questions. Thanks.